Welcome to the Global Exclusive Podcast. This week's episode is pretty special because we're doing an any percent speedrun in under 10 minutes. I think our previous record was just under 10 minutes, right, Dream?
Yeah, something like that. I think it was for Lord of the Seas, Nicole. But yeah, this week is very dull content-wise, so we can get through it nice and quickly because we didn't have any ideas to spice it up.
Yeah. Okay, so we'll start with Nerine, the saddest of them all.
Yes, the saddest NVA in quite some time.
I think ever, even, like, period. There's
Yeah,
nothing.
or at least relative to release time. But yeah,
Yeah.
basically the only even like remotely competent thing she got is her shift LB, which has to stack to a max mod of 230,
What an evil
and
business.
and to top it off, her shift is 4-turn duration, 4-turn cooldown.
I have a theory.
So,
I think that this unit was designed a year ago, but they kind of forgot to release it.
maybe.
What's really sad about Nerine is that her Brave Shift sprite is really cool. I love it. But here we are.
It's the only good thing about her.
Yeah. Yep. So
That's
we move on to the next unit, I guess.
the disappointing one. We have the actual NVs of the week.
Okay, so Neilikka is really weird because if you look at her wiki page, she can't equip any weapons other than the fist.
Mm, Yeah, both of these only get like their own TMR weapon types.
And it's
The,
even
the,
weirder when you go there to Brave Shift.
yeah, the weirder thing is the brave shifts of these two can't equip any armors or tats, and their STMRs are armors.
Yeah, and Neilikka, there's no way to equip her STMR.
Yeah, like Rhus can at least use a materia for his, but no, Neilikka just doesn't get it on her shift form at all.
Okay, so if they fixed that, would she have been pretty good?
Still not really. Like, I mean, her sort of 3 damage options are the base LB, the shift LB, and her cooldown that has the 700 boosts in her base form because it has a much higher mod there from her STMR.
Yeah, I think her STMR gives a mod boost of like 700 to her
Yeah, it's
smart
another.
streak. Yeah, it does. Yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
it's 1400 with just the kit, 2100 with the STMR. And without external LB buffs or like correct races for the shift one, it does seem to be her strongest option by a little bit, but it's still a bit underwhelming and is lightning locked and whatnot. External LB buff will make her base LB a little stronger, and you want it to use for buffs anyway. And then against either stones or machines, her shift LB will then win because that's all racial mods.
Her armor is definitely the highest attack. Is it light armor? I think it's the highest attack light armor we have in the game.
Yeah, hers
So
is
it's one of
light
those things.
versus heavy, and both of them have 150 attack.
Yeah, and they're the type of things where it's like I would be happy as a off banner, like
Yeah, it's like
moderately happy just for the
not a
STMR.
terrible pickup. Like, I think Ruler's Gear is still gonna add more, but it's a secondary option. I think
Right,
a
and
couple of
even if
the
we're go for it.
a couple future things are coming with similar attack values and better secondary effects. Like, I think Titus STMR that everyone's looking forward to has a similar attack value on it.
Yeah. Both Nalika and Ruse, I think, share a card that we could quickly talk about the card. It's a 140 attack card.
Yeah. So for now,
Um,
it's the highest base attack of non-premium cards,
but there's
and
an asterisk to
remains
it.
that way for a while for GP. But the secondary abilities on it are garbage in compensation because it's just LB fill rate on all the levels.
Exactly. Yeah. So yeah, Nalika is really weird. I feel like at a certain point they must have known that she couldn't even equip her own STMR in her brave shift, but yeah, I
Maybe.
don't think
I
they've
mean,
decided to fix it.
I think the base form is probably the one that's supposed to use that cooldown ability. But
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. I guess one thing that's worth noting, just like as a mechanics note, is that her base LB gives plus 180 mod to her shift LB, and that mod will apply, like those 90 on both components applies regardless of race.
Oh, that's good to know.
That's remember when we got the first Dragon Quest banner, there was that like confusing patch note about racial mods and stuff. This is the sort of scenario that it seemed to have been talking about.
Which means, I mean, it's good to be upfront, but at the same time, who the hell's going to use Neilikka anyways?
Yeah.
There's that. All right,
Apparently,
moving on.
there's one DV coming up that should have a mixed race machine and stone boss, and against both those races together, she will have a very high mod and hit her. But it's
Ah,
so
yes, and the
niche.
stars align.
Yeah, and then yeah, single race, mediocre, no races, pretty bad.
They're both CG units, right? Or is only Rus
Yeah,
CG?
no, they both are. I sort of didn't really register that until recently, but yep, they have CGs that you will probably never see unless you go watch them externally or on their banners.
Which, so one of the weirder things about these two is that in JP they were pretty big deals. As in, like their STMRs was pretty hype. Their card was well, not as much, but like they themselves weren't premium, but also decent
Yeah, I
damage
think
dealers.
yeah, for a non-premium, they were a little bit of a step up at their time of release. But
And they
then,
weren't SLB. That's a
mm,
big thing.
yeah, but then as we saw, sort of better versions of those things came shortly afterwards.
Exactly. All right, we can talk about Ruse quickly.
Yeah,
He's a water
here's
damage dealer.
yeah. But yeah, Nelica's basically lightning locked, as most JP units are, and Bruce is water. He's the slightly better of the two, I would say, because with his racial mods, again does the base LB buffs the shift LB thing, but he can get a 381 mod against any race and 450 against machines. So it's a bit less restrictive and stronger baseline. But his damage with that is still kind of just fine. It's nothing impressive.
He's probably our best water damage dealer, but then again, I think Chizuru's non
Yeah, you
like
can
just
just
giving Chizuru water is so much better
imbue
anyways.
imbue Chiz, Esther, or Wilk, and it'll probably do like as good or better.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Um yeah, he's not the worst thing to pull off banners, but again, he's not exciting at all. So I don't know
yeah.
why anyone would be. So the
There's
other
some,
thing that's really weird about this banner is that they get stuck in the global exclusive materials and armor in there in the step up.
yeah. I mean, I prefer it this way around than having the card on this one and the armory ticket on Chiz's banner.
Yeah, I guess so. That would have been better.
But yeah, I guess they wanted some kind of incentive on here as a sort of token effort.
Even then, I still wouldn't recommend anyone pull for it. So
No,
here
pretty
we are. I think about
very
7 to 8
much
minutes in.
a saving week, which is nice. I finally finished my Chizuru Pity and was rewarded with an extra copy on the very last. It was on the last unit of the last step. I got a second copy of her alongside the
Okay,
P one.
I got a Chizuru from the free 60 pull. I was so happy.
I got a
Yeah,
pause from mine.
that's so hype.
Yeah, I think that accurately represents the sort of dichotomy of luck that goes on here.
Exactly, exactly. And let's keep it this way. I like it.
Mm, I'll agree to disagree.
Well, I think we finished our speed run. I think we're 9 minutes in, so
We
we
go.
may have just
Okay, better wrap up
equaled
quickly
our
to get a
equaled our
newbie.
record. Yeah, yeah.
Okay,
Yep.
hopefully next week is more interesting. Maybe it'll be bulkier or something.
Hopefully. All right. Bye, guys.
Bye.